Since it was an act of goodwill for my sake, I decided to gratefully accept the help. My turn, my solo stage. My sworn friend Vildor was in shock, so I gently comforted him. It's okay. The sword has 2 holes, so it doesn't mean your important role is disappearing. Honestly, it seemed stronger that way, and I felt more reassured, so I hoped he wouldn't lament too much. Anyway, I secured the cooperation of both Vildor and Valgrand. Now all that was left was to test how effective it would actually be. Just as I was thinking that, I felt a presence behind me. "Hey, want me to help too?" Guy whispered that into my ear. To be honest, I was very happy with that offer. "No, first I'm going to try landing 1 hit. Based on that, let's try to figure out a way to defeat it." "Is that right? With a monster on that level, half-hearted attacks probably won't work though." "Yeah, you think so, right?" I share the same opinion. "That is exactly why this is the strongest attack. I haven't tested it, but I'm sure it will work." "Oh my, acting tough, aren't you, Rimuru? In that case, I'll help instead of Guy." "Oh? You are most welcome. That means Velzert can also perform dragon species nucleation, right?" My authority had certainly increased, but didn't my Elpis only have 2 holes? I intended to challenge it by slotting in Vildor and Valgrand as dragon cores, but maybe I should use her as a substitute if wind and fire don't work. No, simultaneous use is possible. Since she pointed it out, I hurriedly checked the sword. And then, surprisingly, Elpis had 3 holes for fitting blade cores. You kidding, right? I was surprised, but Seal was clearly fully motivated. At this point, stopping it would be difficult. I have anxieties about whether the sword can withstand it. But more than that, I honestly want to hit Ivorage with the greatest possible power. Since I want to defeat it before it can self-regenerate, this is no time to be stingy. Well then, I suppose I'll ask Velzert-san to help too. Leave it to me. It's strange since I kept it a secret, but Velzert seemed to fully understand what I was trying to do. Perhaps something is conveyed due to the connection of the authority. As proof, Vildor and Valgrand immediately caught on as well. Alright then, let's start. I shall show off my long-awaited turn to the fullest. Preparations are complete. No need to hold back. Then let's finish this quickly. Vildor, Valgrand, and Velzert, in that order, gave their consent to my application. Since this authority is based on a contract, prior confirmation and approval are required. So, with this, there are no problems. I immediately activated dragon species nucleation. In that instant, Vildor and the others emitted light and began to shrink rapidly. Floating in the air were 3 small blade cores, and in a split second, they transformed into dragon cores shining in 3 distinct colors. Vildor was black and purple. Valgrand was a radiance of red and gold woven together. Velzert was a beautiful harmony of white and blue. And then, as if being sucked in, they clicked into my sword Elpis. It felt a comfortable sense of security, as if they had been there from the beginning. Somehow, I felt a sense of omnipotence, as if I could do anything. Besides, I am no longer alone. Vildor and the others are here. I didn't feel like I could lose anymore. Alright then. Just gripping the sword lifted my spirits. It's a stroke of luck that I'm no longer afraid of Ivorage, but I haven't won yet. Furthermore, our battle is expected to be quite dangerous, so there's no telling what might happen. Leaving aside those who can flee, we need to protect those who can no longer move, so Guy and the others will need to do their best as well. Guy, can I leave the rest to you? Yeah. But are you sure you don't need me to help? It's the first time I've seen Guy look worried, but maybe it's because Velzert is in there. Besides, Guy would undoubtedly be useful. But my answer didn't change. Regarding that, we'll try to handle it ourselves. That's some confidence. However, I intend to go full power, so I want you to be careful so it doesn't affect the surface. Ho, is it that much? Saying that, Guy turned his eyes toward Elpis. Seeing the dragon cores of Vildor and the others shining there, he looked convinced, thinking, that makes sense. Yeah. Since I haven't tested it, I can't say for sure, but I think it has higher power and a wider range than even the Drago Nova that Milim fires at full power. In reality, it is unknown just how much power Elpis can put out equipped with 3 dragon cores. Exposing my comrades to danger with my own attack is out of the question, and involving the people on the surface would be a disaster. I will be careful, but I wanted Guy and the others to be cautious as well. What did you say? Gunyunu, well, if it's Rimuru, that might be true. Hearing my conversation with Guy, Milim ground her teeth in frustration. But well, it's a fact, so it can't be helped. More importantly, I want Milim to cooperate in ensuring everyone's safety. Got it. Milim, you accept it too. Gunyunu, I understand. At the very least, since it's an opponent my attacks didn't work on, it's pointless unless you have strength greater than that. Milim seemed to understand intellectually. Following my policy, it was decided that she would cooperate with Guy and the others. By the way, what I'm curious about is the being Milm is holding. Is that Yumu? It is Gaia. Because this child is clever, he has become able to move even in the suspended world. Oh, amazing. Truly amazing. As expected of a dragon's kin, but more than that, perhaps it is thanks to the connection, the bond, with Milm. This Gaia-chan, see, he can apparently put up a grand barrier by gathering everyone's power. And, fitting for one akin to a true dragon, in principle, it's equivalent to dragon magic and primitive magic. Meaning. Regardless of time or space, it can be activated anytime and anywhere. Oh, seriously amazing. Moreover, a defensive type. That is the authority I wanted most in this situation. Hey, I was about to say that. Shut up. I am the one who gets to brag about Gaia. Ramrus and Milm are having a childish fight. Even if her form changes, Ramrus is still Ramrus. Anyway, since both of them seem willing to help through Gaia, that is quite reassuring. These guys are saying that too, so leave this side to us. Gi concluded the conversation. Rimuru, I leave defeating him to you. Don't lose, Rimuru. Yeah, I'll do my absolute best. If it were just me, maybe, but I have Vildora and the Dragon Sisters with me. I wouldn't lose that easily. I declared that boldly, partly to encourage myself. Martial artists sometimes talk big before a match, but since it also serves to push oneself, I think that includes an element of being an entertainer. In my case, I'm not trying to provide entertainment, so there's no such thing as overdoing it. I have to push myself more and more so that I can bring out my full power. Perhaps sensing my spirit, Diablo looked at me with sparkling eyes. Rimuru-sama, I wish you fortunes of war. Bowing respectfully, Diablo said this. Following this, Tensura and the others also offered encouragement. We are praying for your victory. If it's Rimuru-sama, it'll be an easy win. Naturally. If even Vildora-sama and the others are cooperating, there is no element of defeat. Their trust in me was thick enough to be surprising. That went for Benimaru and Sejin as well. I nodded deeply, grinned, and announced. Let's finish this quickly and take back our peace. Indeed. The plan to increase the variety of suites is still midway, and the construction of other entertainment facilities has been postponed. I would like to solve the problem quickly and return to daily life. That's exactly right, Benimaru. I can only fight, so I wish to return to my days of training soon, so that next time I will not have to trouble Rimuru-sama. In moderation, okay. Besides, well, I think it would be good to find a hobby other than fighting. Benimaru and Sejin's words reminded me of the importance of daily life. In addition to that, hope for the future. So that everyone can enjoy life, I must create more and more various forms of entertainment. For that sake as well, I must absolutely defeat Iverge. If by any chance I lose. That is a joke I cannot laugh at. Rimuru-sama is all-powerful and invincible. Kufufufufu. Rimuru-sama being defeated is simply impossible. With overflowing trust, Benimaru and the others declared so. Tensura and the others nodded in agreement. I don't intend to lose either, but there's no guarantee I'll win. Yet, they don't seem to harbor even a speck of thought that I might lose. Being expected of this much actually makes me feel like I absolutely cannot lose, so it's just right. Pushing past Diablo and the others, Feldway approached. My god, would you please avenge my former master, Veldanava-sama? Huh. Avenge Veldanava. It might end up that way in the end, but I don't have a fragment of that intention. More than that, what bothers me is him calling me my god. Did he hit his head hard or something? You. Worshipping our Rimuru-sama without permission, there is a limit to being impudent. Diablo pointed that out, sounding on the verge of snapping. This is why fools who don't know their place are trouble. Starting with demands without offering service is nothing short of extreme rudeness. Seriously. Well, I can somewhat understand the feeling of wanting to worship Rimuru-sama, though. Don't say that. He lost the master he should respect and is probably confused. It was a rather harsh way of putting it, but since Feldway was being too incomprehensible, I didn't stop their remarks. So, it was his own allies who stopped Feldway, who was about to get into an argument with Diablo and the others. Cornu tried to assist Feldway, but Ibarra and Solario stepped in between. Dino and the other two also came over, arbitrating as if to say it can't be helped. Look, I want to lazily sleep my life away. I won't tell you not to fight, but let's solve the problem first. Setting aside the first half, the second half was a sound argument unlike Dino. He looked like he was about to snap soon too, so there was no reason for any opposing opinions. Settling the score would come later and so, it was arranged that they would unite and cooperate in maintaining the Grand Barrier. The last one to stand before me was Chloe, who had a brooding expression. Rimuru-san, I can't see the future, but it will surely go well, right? Of course, right. You said this is the first time things have gone this well, but the one who guided me this far was undoubtedly you, Chloe. To repay that effort, I'll finish this properly right here. If Chloe hadn't been here, I would have been finished long ago. Thinking of it that way, the current situation is one where there are no do-overs. The responsibility is heavy. But that is precisely why I feel fired up. Regarding Rimuru-san, but if you were to lose. Relax. I hear it's impossible for me to lose, you know. Well, whether that's true or a lie, I'll just have to prove it quickly. When I jokingly quoted Diablo's words, Chloe finally showed a smile. Yeah, I believe in you. Chloe's anxious expression softened, and I could feel strength in her words of belief. This, too, is a feat achieved by the expectations placed upon me. It's about enough of pushing myself into a corner. And so, I receive power from everyone's words. Milim, Ramrus, Chloe, Diablo, and Tensura's group. It was unexpected, but I gained some degree of power from Feldway's faction as well. And as if combining their strength, everyone is pouring their respective power into Gaia, whom Milim is holding. And those gazes were directed solely at me. Feeling everyone's gaze concentrated on my back, I raised one hand in response. Before the battle began, I wanted to be absolutely sure of everything. I turned my gaze toward the people on the ground, who were frozen in place. Shockwaves don't generate easily here, so they should be safe unless directly struck. However, within this suspended world, molecular binding forces and thus defensive strength are reduced to zero. No matter the material, it loses its durability and will shatter upon the slightest touch. Humans are no exception. Although they currently appear to be under the influence of Velzard's fixation, I wanted to ensure that the battle wouldn't accidentally affect them. Leave that to me. The reply came, and Velzard's dragon core glowed. Her authority is fixation. It's stronger than before now. I've borrowed some of your power, Rimuru, so you can rest easy. Velzard had been protecting the heroes gathered on this battlefield by turning them into ice statues. She had now reinforced that complete fixation, ensuring they could withstand the shockwaves of our battle. Oh, thank you. You are very welcome. I express my gratitude. Now I could fight Ivorage without holding back.